There are some problems that take 2 minutes to solve. And then there's this one math problem that took mathematicians over 350 years to solve. It is a theorem that has the largest number of unsuccessful proofs and was in the Guinness Book of World Records as the quote-unquote most difficult mathematical problem before it was finally proved in 1995. Yes, we're talking about Fermat's last theorem. Now before we get into the story of this theorem, you should know what terms like theorem mean in maths. A theorem is a statement which has a proof backing it up, whereas a conjecture doesn't. The story of this problem starts in the 17th century with a French lawyer named Pierre de Fermat who did math as a hobby. He wrote to his friends about his mathematical works but gave little or no proofs of his theorems. This resulted in an accumulation of many conjectures with no proofs. After his death, his son found all his letters and notes and published them. Mathematicians all over Europe got to know of these conjectures and started proving them one by one. But one conjecture seemed to elude every proof that they threw at it. This conjecture stated that there do not exist any natural numbers a, b, c such that the equation a raised to n plus b raised to n equal to c raised to n is satisfied for an integer value of n greater than 2. This conjecture had been found scribbled as a note by Fermat in the margin of the book named Arithmetica by Diophantus, just beside a problem on the Pythagorean theorem. He had also written there that he had a marvelous proof for his hypothesis, but that the margin was too narrow to contain it. No mathematician could provide a proof for this conjecture, despite the fact that it looked quite straightforward. Even the king of mathematics, Leonhard Euler, could only help in proving it for n equal to 3. Years, decades and even centuries passed. Mathematicians developed new fields of mathematics just for this problem, but still could not come up with a correct proof. This was the only conjecture of Fermat that remained unproven. Hence, it came to be known as Fermat's last conjecture. It was finally solved by a maths professor named Andrew Wiles in 1995. He first came to know about this problem from a book named The Last Problem by E.T. Bell when he was only 10 years old. He then decided to be the one to prove it, but discovered that he could not do it without more knowledge of maths. He went on to study maths and became a maths professor in Princeton University, and had forgotten all about his dream until he came across some research that linked to Fermat's famous equation. He at once remembered his childhood dream and decided to pursue it again. Nobody believed that proving Fermat's conjecture was possible, so he did his work in secret for 7 years. He published his proof in 1993, but found later that it was wrong. Correcting it took more than a year, and finally the correct proof was published in a 150-page long paper in 1995, which was 358 years after Fermat had first written the problem down. This made Wiles one of the most celebrated mathematicians and earned him many prestigious awards, including the Abel Prize in 2016. He has said, "I had this rare privilege of being able to pursue in my adult life what had been my childhood dream." The story of this theorem is a good example of how simple-looking things can be tough to handle. But more than that, it is an inspiration for us to never stop dreaming, to dream big, and to keep working to make these dreams a reality.